People call Sigma males strange, unpredictable, even weird. But what most don't realize is that the very behaviors society labels as odd are exactly what give them an edge. From walking away when everyone else clings to thriving in solitude while others panic in loneliness, Sigma males turn unconventional habits into undeniable strengths. What looks like weakness is often their secret weapon. What seems antisocial is really strategy. And what most people dismiss as weird ends up being the reason they succeed when others fail. In this video, we're breaking down 12 unusual Sigma male behaviors that people misunderstand, and why those exact quirks actually work in their favor. By the end, you'll see that being different isn't a disadvantage, it's the ultimate power. So, if you're ready to uncover the weird but effective strategies of Sigma males, hit that like button, subscribe to UltraWise, and turn on notifications. Let's get started. They disappear without explaining? When a Sigma male disappears without explanation, most people misinterpret it as ghosting or emotional immaturity. In reality, this act is far from careless. It's one of their most strategic moves. Sigmas understand that words can be debated, twisted, or ignored, but silence leaves no room for argument. It forces people to confront the gap without excuses, and that void is often louder than any confrontation. For Sigma, disappearing isn't about immaturity, it's about reclaiming control. Instead of wasting energy on drama, explanations, or endless arguments, they simply step back and remove themselves from situations, relationships, or dynamics that no longer serve them. By doing this, they send a message far stronger than words. I don't need to stay here. This withdrawal exposes who was truly invested and who only valued the Sigma for what he provided. The psychological impact is what makes this tactic so powerful. People left behind often feel unsettled, replaying past interactions, searching for answers, and realizing too late what they lost. Unlike those who announce every step, Sigmas don't need closure from others. They create it for themselves. Walking away without warning highlights one of their deepest strengths, their ability to prioritize peace over attachment. What others see as coldness is actually clarity. By disappearing, Sigmas cut off manipulative patterns, avoid wasted battles, and reset their lives without carrying dead weight. It's not cruelty, it's survival. And for the ones left wondering, the silence itself becomes a haunting reminder that Sigmas don't beg, they don't chase, and once they're gone, there's no return. They reject social hierarchies. Sigma males don't just ignore social hierarchies, they actively reject them. And that's what sets them apart. Most people, whether they admit it or not, play by the rules of social ranking. Climbing ladders, trying to fit in, chasing popularity, or competing for approval. Sigmas see through all of it. To them, hierarchies are traps designed to keep people predictable, controllable, and desperate for recognition. Instead of competing for position, a Sigma steps outside the system entirely. He doesn't need to be the alpha commanding attention, nor the beta following in line. By refusing to engage in these unspoken games, he unsettles others who rely on status to define their worth. People can't place him in the usual pecking order, and that ambiguity creates both respect and fear. This rejection isn't laziness or rebellion for its own sake, it's strategy. By not playing, Sigmas conserve energy, avoid unnecessary drama, and keep their freedom intact. They don't chase validation from bosses, friends, or partners. Instead, they build their own value on independence, results, and authenticity. Ironically, this very refusal to compete often makes them more magnetic, because true confidence is rare, and people are drawn to someone who doesn't need the crowd's approval. To those stuck inside the hierarchy, a Sigma looks untouchable. He isn't swayed by titles, cliques, or authority figures trying to control him. And when others realize they can't manipulate him with rank, popularity, or status symbols, the Sigma becomes even harder to handle. This is why rejecting hierarchies isn't weakness, it's power. While everyone else fights for a spot on the ladder, the Sigma simply builds his own path, leaving others wondering why they ever climbed in the first place. They say less, observe more. Sigma males have a way of shifting the dynamic in any room, not by talking, but by choosing silence. They say less and observe more, and that's where their power lies. Most people rush to fill silence with words, hoping to prove themselves, explain their motives, or gain approval. Sigmas don't play that game. They hold back, letting others reveal far more than they intended. This isn't passivity, it's strategy. By speaking less, Sigmas sharpen their ability to pick up on small details that others overlook. Tone shifts, body language, contradictions, or nervous habits. Every pause, every unguarded moment becomes information. While others are distracted trying to be heard, Sigmas are quietly gathering insights that give them an edge. Their silence also unsettles people. When you can't read someone or predict what they'll say, you often overexpose yourself to fill the gap. A Sigma knows this, and his restraint works like a psychological trap. The less he reveals, the more others project their own insecurities or motives onto him. And when he finally does speak, every word lands harder because it's deliberate, not wasted. By saying less and observing more, the Sigma male doesn't just save energy, he flips the balance of power. Instead of chasing control, he lets people hand it to him without even realizing it. They walk away at their peak. Sigma males have a habit that seems strange to most people. They walk away at their peak instead of clinging to a situation, relationship, or opportunity until it decays. They leave while they're still winning. This mindset confuses others because most people hold on too long to jobs, friendships, or even status out of fear of loss. A Sigma doesn't see it that way. For him, walking away at the top is a power move. By exiting at their peak, they maintain control of the narrative. No one watches them decline or compromise their standards. Instead, people are left remembering them at their strongest, which creates a lasting impact. It's not about arrogance, but about self-respect. They'd rather shut a door cleanly than drag out something that no longer aligns with who they are. This decision also protects their energy. Staying too long in draining environments means sacrificing focus, freedom, and growth. A Sigma knows when it's time to move on, even if others don't understand. That unpredictability keeps people guessing and often regretting the loss when they realize he won't come back. Walking away at their peak makes Sigma males appear ruthless, but it's actually strategic. It shows they're not afraid of change, and they trust themselves to rebuild stronger. Instead of clinging to comfort, they chase growth. And that's why their exits leave such a powerful impression. They prefer solitude over crowds. Sigma males are often seen as mysterious figures who seem to vanish into solitude by choice, and that's because they genuinely prefer it over crowds. While most people seek constant interaction to feel connected, Sigmas thrive in their own company. Solitude isn't loneliness for them, it's power. In those quiet spaces, they recharge, think deeply, and refine their goals without distraction. Crowds, on the other hand, often feel draining. The noise, the shallow conversations, and the social expectations don't align with their nature. Sigmas would rather spend an evening alone reading, working on a personal project, or simply reflecting than waste energy on meaningless interactions. This preference for solitude confuses people who equate being social with being happy, but for Sigmas, it's the opposite. They find peace and strength when they're alone. What makes this even more powerful is how solitude sharpens their edge. It gives them clarity, focus, and self-reliance, qualities that make them stand out when they do step into the world. People are often surprised at how calm, collected, and insightful a Sigma seems, but that's the result of countless hours spent in quiet growth. Their preference for solitude isn't about avoiding people, it's about protecting their energy and investing it where it matters most. By choosing solitude over crowds, Sigma males ensure that when they engage with others, it's meaningful, deliberate, and impactful. They don't chase, they attract. Sigma males have a unique dynamic when it comes to attraction. They don't chase, they attract. Unlike most people who burn energy pursuing validation or approval, Sigmas operate from a place of self-sufficiency. They know their value, and because they don't seek constant attention, it creates a powerful magnetic pull. When someone doesn't chase, it naturally flips the balance of power. People become curious about the one who doesn't need to be noticed. This quiet confidence is what makes Sigma males so intriguing. They're not desperate to prove anything, and that lack of neediness becomes irresistible. Women and even peers often find themselves drawn to Sigmas, not because they're loud or flashy, but because they embody calm certainty. This principle also protects them from manipulation. Since they aren't desperate for validation, fake praise or attention games fall flat. Sigmas attract relationships, opportunities, and respect organically, simply by staying aligned with who they are. They don't force connections, they allow them to come naturally. In a world where most people chase recognition, the Sigma stands out by doing the opposite, and that paradox is why people respect them, envy them, and often regret losing them. They mirror people's energy. Sigma males have a subtle but powerful habit. They mirror people's energy. This isn't about manipulation, it's about reflection. When someone brings warmth, respect, and honesty, a Sigma responds in kind, amplifying that energy. But when someone is cold, manipulative, or dismissive, they simply reflect it back, often without saying a word. This mirroring creates a psychological effect that many people aren't ready for. Fake friends or manipulative individuals suddenly see their own behaviors staring back at them. If they try to play games, the Sigma doesn't fight. They just hand the energy back, making the other person uncomfortable. It's like holding up a mirror to someone's true self, forcing them to confront behaviors they'd rather hide. What makes this especially effective is how silent it is. Unlike others who may call things out directly, Sigmas don't waste energy on confrontation. Their mirroring speaks louder than any words could. People who approach them with good intentions feel understood and valued, but those with hidden motives feel exposed, often retreating because they can't handle having their own energy reflected so clearly. In the end, this habit strengthens the Sigma's boundaries. They don't need to explain, argue, or justify. Their energy response is enough to show others exactly where they stand. They use minimalism as power. Sigma males often embrace minimalism as power, and this isn't just about having fewer possessions. It's about living with intention. While others drown in excess, distractions, and constant consumption, Sigmas strip away what doesn't matter. This simplicity becomes their edge because it frees up energy, time, and focus for the things that truly drive them forward. Minimalism gives Sigmas a unique kind of authority. They don't rely on flashy displays, status symbols, or unnecessary noise to prove their worth. Instead, their confidence comes from clarity. They know exactly what they need and what they don't. This unsettles people who measure success through material wealth or constant validation. A Sigma's quiet, uncluttered lifestyle challenges those beliefs, making their strength feel even more intimidating. What's more, minimalism allows them to stay adaptable. With fewer attachments and less baggage, both physical and emotional, they can move, change, and rebuild faster than most people. While others are stuck, holding onto clutter or toxic connections, the Sigma male walks away lighter, stronger, and ready for new opportunities. In the end, their minimalist approach becomes more than a lifestyle. It's a psychological statement. It says, I don't need more to be powerful. I just need less of what doesn't matter. That kind of discipline isn't just rare, it's magnetic. They turn silence into a weapon. Sigma males know that words aren't always the strongest weapon. Silence is. While most people rush to defend themselves, argue, or over-explain, Sigmas understand the unsettling power of saying nothing. Their silence creates a psychological vacuum, forcing others to fill it with their own guilt, insecurity, or fear. In many ways, their quiet presence can cut deeper than anger ever could. When faced with conflict, a Sigma doesn't need to shout or prove his point. By holding back, he lets the other person reveal themselves, often over-explaining, stumbling, or exposing their own weakness. This unnerves manipulators, fake friends, and even romantic partners, because they realize they can't pull emotional strings on someone who refuses to react. Silence becomes both a shield and a sword. What makes this tactic so effective is how rare it is. In a world where everyone craves to be heard, a Sigma's ability to withdraw words and energy makes people uneasy. The silence lingers, making them question what he's really thinking. And that mystery is often more powerful than any confrontation. Ultimately, turning silence into a weapon shows that Sigmas don't fight battles on anyone else's terms. They win by unsettling others, keeping their power intact, and proving that sometimes the deadliest strike is the one that never makes a sound. They burn bridges with precision. When a Sigma male decides to burn a bridge, it's never impulsive or emotional. It's surgical precision. Unlike others who explode in anger or leave trails of drama, Sigmas calculate the moment carefully. They weigh the cost, the energy drain, and the future potential of the relationship. Once the scales tip into negativity, they don't hesitate. The bridge is burned, but it's done with such calm certainty that it leaves people stunned. This precision is what makes the move so final. A Sigma doesn't announce it, doesn't argue, and doesn't leave cracks in the door for someone to crawl back through. When they cut ties, it's because they've already processed the relationship internally and realized it no longer serves growth, respect, or authenticity. For the other person, it often feels sudden, but for the Sigma, it's the result of long observation and silent decision-making. What shocks people most is that Sigmas feel no guilt about it. They don't dwell on what-ifs, because they understand that keeping toxic or empty connections is far costlier than letting them go. Burning bridges with precision allows them to free their path for people and opportunities that actually align with their values. In the end, this harsh but effective habit is part of what makes Sigmas so untouchable. They don't cling. They don't beg. They don't entertain second chances when respect has been broken. Their ability to walk away with clarity and finality is exactly why their presence is valued, and their absence felt even more. They thrive in chaos by staying calm. What sets Sigma males apart is how they remain calm while others crumble. When chaos erupts, whether it's conflict, uncertainty, or crisis, most people panic, react emotionally, or lose focus. A Sigma male, on the other hand, slows down. He doesn't let adrenaline or fear control him. Instead, he takes a step back, observes the situation from a detached perspective, and responds with calculated precision. This ability comes from two traits: emotional self-mastery and a natural instinct for observation. Where others see disorder, a Sigma sees patterns. While people scramble to impose control, he quietly adapts. That's why Sigmas often emerge as the unexpected anchor during turbulent times. They don't need to shout, lead, or dominate. Their calm presence itself steadies the environment. This unnerves people who thrive on drama. Because Sigmas don't feed into chaos, they neutralize it. They refuse to be baited into overreaction, which frustrates manipulators and shocks those expecting emotional collapse. Ironically, it's in chaos where Sigmas often shine the most, proving their strength not through noise, but through composure. Their calmness isn't passive, it's strategic. By staying grounded while everyone else is scattered, they gain clarity, spot opportunities, and make decisions that others overlook. And once the storm passes, the Sigma often stands stronger, having thrived where others barely survived. They succeed without seeking validation. Most people are driven by applause, recognition, or the need to prove themselves to others. Sigma males, however, operate differently. They don't chase validation, approval, or public acknowledgement. Their motivation comes from within, from personal standards, self-discipline, and the desire to live authentically. Success for them isn't about being seen. It's about being satisfied with their own progress. This mindset makes their victories even more impactful. While others spend energy showing off accomplishments, Sigmas keep building silently. They achieve goals without broadcasting every step, which makes their eventual success appear sudden, almost shocking to those around them. People often wonder, when did he manage to do all this? The answer lies in the Sigma's ability to focus on results instead of recognition. This approach also protects them from manipulation, since they don't rely on external praise. Fake compliments or shallow approval don't sway them. Their independence in success means they're harder to control, harder to predict, and harder to break. That's why their achievements carry a certain mystique. They're not trying to impress anyone, yet they often end up impressing everyone. In the end, Sigma males prove that true power comes not from being admired, but from thriving without needing anyone's applause. Their results do the talking, and their silence makes those results echo even louder. And there you have it, 12 strange, often misunderstood behaviors that Sigma males live by, and yet every single one of them works. What looks like weakness to others turns out to be a hidden form of strength. Disappearing without warning, refusing validation, burning bridges with precision. These aren't random quirks. They're strategies that allow Sigma males to protect their energy, maintain control, and thrive in a world built on noise and approval seeking. The truth is, Sigmas don't succeed because they try to be different. They succeed because they refuse to compromise who they are. That's why so many people secretly admire and even fear them. Their power isn't in being loud, but in being intentional. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these Sigma habits do you secretly see in yourself? Do you thrive in solitude? Walk away without regret? Or maybe use silence as power? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know which one hit you the hardest. And if this video gave you insight into Sigma psychology, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to UltraWise, and hit the bell so you never miss more content that goes deeper than the surface.